Listen very carefully. A man can never be a machine. A man can never be a god. A man can never be more man than another man. He can never ascend to another level that a man can't, right? And what I'm trying to say is that men are bound in terms of how great they can be, and we will forever be flawed. Just like with any sort of automobile, I don't care if you have a bucket or if you have a Bugatti, okay? Even a Bugatti is going to break down. If you drive it too much, it's going to have its engine worked on, the transmission worked on. It's going to have all sorts of problems. So a car can never be perfect. It will forever be flawed, just like men. So you should never place your faith in a man because the man will let you down, even though he's trying not to. We are weak. We have our moments of weakness. It is what it is. I have mine. You have yours. It's a part of life, right? And sometimes stuff gets out of our hands. You pray that it doesn't happen, and obviously you try to avoid situations where you're going to be tempted and you're going to put yourself in a pretty helpless position, but it's going to come, especially when you have power. Whether we like it or not, and we've seen it time after time. We tend to only focus on black athletes or, black people who are wealthy, but how many damn politicians do we have, right, that are having all sorts of affairs with call girls, and they're paying the chick $10,000 a night, right, to go out and eat dinner and, have some sort of kinky, bondage sort of sex, how, older white men like it, very kinky and whatnot. And they're all rich, powerful men. So we see it all the time throughout history. Men who have wealth, men who have power will succumb to it, and they'll do stuff on the low. So I don't really understand why everybody's so damn shocked to tell you the truth, right? For me, people are like, well, it's because they're men. I don't really care, okay? Because had they have been, 17, 18-year-old girls that he was sending those pictures to, people would have swept it under the rug. That's the stupid part about it. The black church would have probably been like, oh, there's nothing wrong with it, or it's not that big of a deal. But because it's men, it's like, oh my gosh. But for me, the act is the act. Whether it's with a boy or a woman, the act is still the act. I don't care who's involved. I don't care if it's a guy or a girl. I don't care if it's Malik or Malika. Right? I don't really care. He still did what he did. He abused his power, or he's, supposedly abused his power. And he went against the preachings of the church. No one had a problem with his extravagant lifestyle. For me, that would have been more so an issue because blatant in your face, driving through in a, all sorts of European cars and whatnot. That's in your face every day, but no one had a problem with that, right? But they had a problem, and once again, that's like blatant in front of your face. Look at me, y'all poor motherfuckers, but I'm dry, I'm in this whip on rims. Never should your pastor, bishop, or whatever you guys call them, right, be on rims. I'm sorry, you just can't have rims. I don't care if you have a damn Bentley or an S500, but don't have rims. Like don't have rims. Come on now. Don't have subwoofers. Come on, right? You're going too far with that one. But people didn't stop him then. For the people who are shocked, I laugh because it supports the reason to why I don't go to church as much, or even for a lot of black men that don't go to church, or just men in general who don't go to church. It's proving that you guys aren't worshiping the Lord and working on your direct relationship with God, which is what you're supposed to do. You're worshiping that man. You're praising that man. You're elevating that man. You're placing your faith in that man. See, the people who are about their shit, you know, they really have that personal relationship with God, they're not tripping. Yeah, they're like, oh, damn, you know, it's upset. You know, like, I'm sure people will get upset. It's unfortunate, but no one's like, oh, my gosh, I'm questioning my religion. I'm questioning this. Oh, my gosh, you know, is the world going to end because this pastor, got a lot of power and, you know, the power sort of corrupted him? You know, it's like, no, people are just going to keep on moving. Right? I hate to say it, but we're all men. I'm sorry, you know, people act as if, Beyonce can walk into a room butt-ass naked, right? And the pastor is the only man that's going to not be tempted, right? You know, he's not going to get erect. He's just going to be flaccid and, you know, chilling. As if he's not going to look, right? You know, he's just as powerful as the athlete or the NBA player. We all know that they're going to be tempted, but why shouldn't he be tempted? Why is he more man than them? Why is he different from them? He's still a man. He's not a machine, right? Just like in Rocky IV, when he cut Ivan Drago over the right eye in the end of the second round, and the black guy was telling him, see, he's not a machine, he's a man, right? What more can we say? So you shouldn't feel like you have to leave the church. You shouldn't feel like you have to reevaluate your life and what you think. He is a man, right? They're going to come, they're going to go, just like anybody else. And once again, this is just another reason to why you don't see black men in the church, right? Because unfortunately, the women who run the black church have this fake-ass relationship with God where they're really praising, right, the black pastor. You know, he's their God, he's their Lord and Savior, right? And then they get so shook up when some shit happens. I can care less, right? I really can. I can care less. Me talking about it is just like some juicy gossip shit. It's not going to shake my relationship with the Lord at all, right? You know, it's just not, right? Once again, it's like the person who's crying because their Bugatti, you know, failed on them. You know, the transmission went out. And it's like, my friend, you know, why are you so bent out of shape? You know it's a car. You know cars break down, right? You know cars get flat tires. You know cars need to have their engines worked on, right? It still is a car, you know, right? And, you know, I'm just looking at this whole situation, and it's like, I find it funny. You know, I truly do find it funny because it just exposes all the people in the black community that have this fake-ass relationship with God, right, where they're really praising the person who can, you know, the best game talker, right, you know, who can check and jive the best, right, who can create big stories, you know, who can make you laugh, who can make you cry, who can make you sing, as opposed to really focusing on their, you know, convictions and, you know, whoever they're praising, right? It just exposes where people's faith really lies. Stop putting your faith in men like that, right? Stop. You know, no one's saying that you can't trust the man, but don't ever, and I guess this is the moral of this story, don't ever try to put a man above anything else other than a man. It is what it is. Because a man will fail, right? Not to say that it's bound to happen, but when men typically have a lot of power, a lot of money, a lot of influence, a lot of people checking for him, right? A lot of people who want to be around him and just, you know, be in his presence because people love power, right? You know, going back to the whole we hate celebrities and we hate athletes because they're snobby and they have money and they don't deserve it, but yet we care about what they do, right? Because we just love power, right? Shit like that is going to happen. You would be surprised. It probably happens more than we think. I mean, I'm not even going to lie. Let me be a pastor of a megachurch, right? You know, and just money flowing in everywhere. Every damn Sunday or every week, there's all these single black women walking around everywhere looking for husbands and whatnot, right? I'm sure there's a couple of, you know, pastors that have a thing for, like, you know, Eddie Long for young black boys, and, you know, they probably got the young black boys with no father in the church, so they don't know anything about manhood. You know, they're walking around everywhere, right? What do you think is going to happen? I wouldn't even put myself in that position. I'm like, nope, I just can't do it, right? You know, I think I'm a pretty strong person, but day in and day out, all these young chicks walking in and out, looking for guidance from me at all hours of the night and the day, 24/7, baking me pies, baking me cookies, right? You know, running my errands for me, answering my phones. Oh, I just can't. You know, I already see it now. So for anybody who thinks that a pastor, a man, can have all that power and not, you know, be tempted, come on. Come on. Every mega pastor, I don't care who he is, I'm going to go on record and say every mega pastor, mega church pastor, T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, all these, you know, people out there, I don't even know the names, they've had at least one. They've taken down one chick, one woman, you know, some teenage girl or boy, depending on what they're into, right? Just one. Just because they're a man, right? And at the end of the day, should that shake your faith with God? No, it shouldn't. I feel like I'm preaching, but it shouldn't. Because once again, your relationship with God needs to be personal, right? You going to church and praising your pastor, right, is not the end-all be-all. He's supposed to be the middleman. He is supposed to help you get closer to God. But if he fails, guess what? You're still good. You can just deal with God more directly, or guess what? Find another middleman, right? You know, if my travel agent's not getting it done, right, he can no longer help me get to the destination that I want to go to, am I going to die and act like I can never leave California? No, I'm going to find another travel agent. All right, you're just a middleman anyways. I don't care how powerful you are. I don't care how big your agency is and, you know, your granite countertops and, you know, your corner office or whatnot. I don't care about what you have going on. You're still a middleman. I'm still going to get to where I want to go, right? So anyways, that's my take. A couple of you guys asked me to speak on it. And to me, it doesn't significant at all. To me, it's TMZ shit. I don't know why CNN or all these other places are covering it. To me, it's TMZ shit. We've seen it time after time, whether it's in the church, with the Catholic priest, whether it's with the NBA player, the damn Bill Clinton, you know, president, some politician. We've seen it, haven't we? Why are people still getting shocked? And once again, it's primarily the women, right? But I think I've said enough. I really have. Once again, you just have a whole bunch of black people being exposed in terms of that pseudo, fake-ass, you know, we're Christians and it's all about the God and the church. No, it's not, right? It's all about y'all praising another man, putting your hopes in another man who will eventually be corrupted by that same power. That's all it is, right? And I'll probably do another video on why the megachurch is bullshit in my opinion, right? Because once again, if you look at the common denominator between all the shit that you see in certain mega black churches, right, a lot of it has to do with power and money and corruption and whatnot, and I'll get into that later because I know some people who are affiliated with mega churches and they've left because they saw the hypocrisy and the bullshit, right? So I'll probably touch on that a little bit later. Y'all take it easy. God bless, right? And by the way, you know, those same pictures of Eddie Long, I've seen the ones where he's in that, you know, muscle pink shirt. I've been seeing that picture, right? You know, I've seen that man on TV in a freaking muscle shirt. So I don't know why people are, you know, acting as if you didn't know that dude was built, right? He's always been wearing form-fitting clothing. I've seen that cat on TBN, you know, in some dress slacks and Under Armour sort of skin-tight performance enhancement sort of shirt. I've seen him do that before, so I don't know why everybody's tripping, right? We all knew that the cat was built. You know, big deal. I thought that there was some, you know, nude shit of him out there, but, you know, what's new about that? Anyways, I'm done. Y'all take it easy. God bless.